Chapter 1. There is a lot of helplessness, sadness, and desolation in this world. Of course, even in a lot of pain, we will have our own happiness, but many people will say that the happy time is short-lived. For Shuyi, life actually has no color. When she was 15 years old, she was lucky enough to get a portable space, a very beautiful ancient jade earring. She recognized the owner in an accident. After spending many years of pocket money to add space, all kinds of seeds, saplings, flowers, and plants were prepared. She even placed a comfortable decorative room next to the hut. There was no shortage of all kinds of books, and even electricity. But the good times didn't last long. She couldn't drink the water in this space. She was blocked by something. She couldn't even eat the fruit she planted. She could only watch. However, these did not hinder her enthusiasm. She still worked on it every day while studying. The thing that really made her completely lose her enthusiasm for space was when she was 17 years old. Before the college entrance examination, she was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. After that, she never visited the space. She didn't seek immortality. She just hoped to live a healthier life so that she could have a private place to rest and play during her busy studies. However, all of this was shattered when she learned that she was hopeless. His parents favored his younger brother. When they learned that he had such a problem, they sent him to the hospital without paying a penny or seeing him. The only person who cares about her is her aunt, who has always been single. She studied well and earned her first pot of gold through her own efforts when she was admitted to college. Then she went to study abroad and developed very well abroad. However, she met an inhumane person. Her boyfriend, who was planning to get married, abandoned her. After being sad, she ended her overseas industry and returned to China to develop. My aunt has taken care of her since she was a child. For some reason, her aunt started not to treat her younger brother soon after he was born, and she loved her very much. This also made her mother very resentful. It was not until recently, when she was in the hospital bed, that her body was getting weaker and weaker. In order to give her the willpower to live, her aunt revealed that her brother was not the child of her father, but the child of her mother and her first love boyfriend. The physical decline was obvious, and the medical expenses were all paid by her aunt. Shui did not want to implicate her aunt Mo Wanru, so she made a request to see the sea. A few days after the doctor said so, my aunt took her to Hawaii. The day before she died of illness, Shui and Mo Wanru came to an orphanage. Shui picked out a little boy at a glance. He could retain such clear eyes in such a cruel environment, and he must have a great future. After welcoming the new member that day, the family of 3 came to the beach the next day. After naming the child Xiaojun, they looked at their aunt with tears on her face sadly and wanted to wipe away the tears on her face. However, the increasingly heavy eyelids and her hands that could not be lifted made Shui know that her time had come, and she passed away with a heart full of reluctance. The dead Shui's soul floated out of her body. She looked at her aunt hugging her body on the beach, crying uncontrollably and feeling extremely sad. The child who brought her had eyes full of determination, knowing that she had done nothing wrong. With such a child accompanying my aunt will have someone to rely on when she gets old in the future, and she will feel at ease. The beaches in Hawaii are still so blue and look so sad. Shui, who has become a soul, can only stay by her side quietly. But not long after, the lost virus broke out. She saw with her own eyes that her aunt struggled to survive time and time again. Xiaojun's child also saved her aunt many times. The two of them cuddled up to each other, and it could be said that they were no different from a real mother and child. Unfortunately, Gugu and Xiaojun were betrayed in the end, and both died at the mouths of zombies. The sudden suction made Shui terrified, but before she could react, she came to a black palace. Shui looked up at the man sitting on the throne, not surprised or surprised, but just confused. Shui, your illness is caused by the mistakes of low-level gods. As compensation, we will send you to reincarnation. Of course, before that, we will fulfill one of your wishes. The underlying meaning is very clear. Your death is due to the mistakes of your subordinates. Now I give you the opportunity to say what you want, but of course you can't go too far. I have only one wish, that after reincarnation, Mo Xiaojun and my aunt can become a real mother and son. I can take good care of and accompany my aunt, so that my aunt can be happy and healthy in every life. Such a wish made the man on the throne stunned for a moment. Others asked him for various abilities, but she was special. Should I say she deserves to be? There was a flash of white light in front of his eyes, and Shui had disappeared. Brother, is this okay? Is it too much? Yen Xiangxi walked out of the side hall. Xiangxi, sometimes being soft-hearted is not a good thing. She will not let us down. Yan Xiangshou helplessly looked at his sister, who is prone to being soft-hearted. She is special, and she will definitely pass the test. Only in this way will the law not. The wind took away the remaining words. All everyone can do is their duty. Only when you give up can you gain. What you gain or lose is all your own choice. Chapter 2. I woke up in a daze, without opening my eyes, feeling that I was being held by someone, and at the same time, I kept my breathing consistent with that of a deep sleep. Adding some sleeping movements also allows the person holding it to avoid suspicion. You can't blame Shui for being so careful. In order to grab the last resources in the last days, his aunt was framed and died. The dejected mood affected the atmosphere around him. However, it was also a blessing in disguise, as the person holding him thought he had dreamed of something bad, and soothed him and carried him on his back. After being comforted, Shui quickly fell asleep again. Because of the temporary safety, she would not comfort herself like this if she had bad intentions. When I woke up again, I saw a Taoist priest next to me and looked at him in surprise. Noticing Shui's gaze, Zayayozi opened his eyes and asked softly, "My child, where are you from? Do you have any relatives at home? Why are you alone among the corpses?" Shui tilted her head and thought for a while, then replied, "I only remember that my name is Shui, a virtuous, chaste, and quiet Shu, and this is the name of Yi from my previous life. I don't remember the other ones. Grandpa, who are you?" "Oh, poor child. I am Zayayozi of Xiaoyao sect. Are you willing to accept me as your teacher?" Zayayozi touched Shui's head and comforted her. "It's okay not to remember. Sometimes remembering may not be a good thing." "Is it really possible?" Shui's eyes were uncertain, but her heart was in turmoil. She was not reincarnated, but traveled through time. Time traveled to the era of Zayayozi, the founder of the Tianmong Babu and the Xiaoyao sect. "Of course, as long as you are willing." Zayayozi looked at the child who heard his answer, showing a happy look and feeling much better. "Master is here. Please accept my disciple's obeisance." He got out of bed neatly and kowtowed. Okay. From now on, you will be my apprentice, Zayayozi. You have a senior sister named Wu Xingyun." Zayayozi said happily. "Well, Shui will definitely get along well with senior sister and not let the master worry," who blinked his eyes and said seriously. In the next few days, Zayayozi often went out, and Shui also got some free time. After checking the current body, she found that it was not her own body, but the original ancient jade earrings were now in Shui's space between her eyebrows. Entering the space, she was surprised to find that there was originally only 1,500 square meters of space and land, but now there is a lotus pond, and the original thatched hut has become a Tangfeng mansion. There are 2 hot springs, one cold and one hot, around the outside of the house. There is a wine spring near the house, and a strange pool with white smoke. After asking if anyone was there, he opened the door and entered. After seeing the portrait of a man and a woman, he kowtowed and worshipped. Pick up the jade talisman on the table and use your spiritual power to penetrate it. In the apocalypse, everyone's superpowers require spiritual guidance, so it's not surprising that Shui can use them. After checking, I found out that the smoking pool outside was a marrow washing spring, which could also detoxify any poison. After reading it, I only chose a simple breathing method and did not learn any other cultivation techniques. Shui didn't care about this. She had the space in her hands, and she would learn sooner or later. After drinking the marrow-cleansing spring water, a thick layer of oil stains appeared on my body. I took off my clothes and jumped into the hot spring to wash myself. After cleaning myself, I washed my clothes by the stream. When I got out of the room, I hung my clothes to dry again and changed my clothes. Zayayozi was very kind to herself. After accepting her disciple, she prepared all kinds of clothes and jewelry for a 5-year-old girl. A few days later, Zayayozi took him back to Xiaoyao sect, but because Wu Xingyun was in retreat, he could not see him. Under Zayayozi's guidance, Shui learned Zaya Wuxian Gong and used it as a foundation, which made Zayayozi curious. "Shui, why did you choose Xiao Wuxian Gong instead of Baiming Divine Gong?" Zayayozi asked curiously. After listening to the master's introduction to each mental method, the apprentice thinks that Xiao Wuxian Gong is the most suitable foundation. After learning Xiao Wuxian Gong, he can learn Baiming Shin Gong, which will complement each other. Whose watery eyes flashed, and a look of praise me on his face made Zayayozi very happy. After explaining Xiao Wuxian Gong in detail, he taught his little apprentice how to introduce qi into the body. After discovering that his little apprentice had been able to enter Samadhi after being taught for a while, Zayayozi was full of surprise and taught Shui more patiently. Soon after, Wu Xingyun came out of seclusion and met his senior sister under the leadership of his master. After learning that Wu Xingyun's piano skills were very good, he studied seriously. Later, he also learned chess, calligraphy, and painting under the guidance of Wu Xingyun. He also learned about planting, medicine, and astrology under the guidance of Zayayozi. 2 years is neither long nor short. Zayayozi often goes out. During this time, Shui learned all the martial arts except the Chongqing Kung Fu. Every mental technique and troubleshooting were burned into the space. Among them, the most proficient ones are Lingbo Weibu, Hanqiu Fu Acupoint, and Life and Death Talisman. The others are all average in their practice and spend most of their time learning medical and divination astrology. This time Zayayozi came back with a boy. He had no name when he picked it up, and he was called Wuyazi by Zayayozi. Shui made a fortune when facing Wuyazi, and then began to pester Wu Xingyun unless Wu Xingyun went into seclusion to prevent Wu Xingyun from approaching Wuyazi, which also made Zayayozi and Wu Xingyun quite strange. After the master and apprentice discussed, Zayayozi was in the main hall. Wu Xingyun was hiding in the corner and called Shui to ask, "Shu Yi, why don't you let your senior sister have contact with your junior brother?" Zayayozi was really surprised. Why was Shui, who always wanted his junior brother and sister, so indifferent to Wuyazi? Don't let Xingyun touch him either. Master, senior sister cannot have contact with Wuyazi, otherwise senior sister will die. He worriedly explained the fortune-telling in detail, and Zayayozi also did the fortune-telling and sighed helplessly. That's fine. You should also study seriously. Don't let this matter leak out. The Master Association will handle it. Because of this matter, Wu Yazi was not as versatile as Tianlong's original work. Zayayozi only asked him to learn the small faceless skill, turtle breath skill, white rainbow palm power, and lingbo weibu. There was no other instruction. A year later, Zayayozi brought 2 sisters, Li Qiushui and Li Songhai. Shui still pestered Wu Xingyun and ignored the 3 of them. Zayayozi didn't say anything. After all, his apprentice's achievements in medical horoscopes were really good. 3 years later, Zayayozi brought back 2 male and 1 female disciples. One was named Zuanjizi, the other was Yanfizi, and the youngest junior sister was Taingswatong. This time Shui and Wu Xingyun took the initiative to teach the new juniors. This made Li Qiushui, Li Songhai, and Wu Yazi extremely angry, but there was nothing they could do. The 2 senior sisters' martial arts and talents made them ashamed, so they could only bully the new junior brothers and sisters. Xiaoyaozi watched everything and did not interfere. Chapter 3. Unfortunately, Wu Yazi, who was supposed to be very favored, turned into Zuanjizi, which also made Shu Yi understand one thing. Wu Xingyun and Zuanjizi got along very well. They were only 1 year apart in age. Zuanjizi was good at martial arts when he was brought in. After being scrapped and retrained, he still quickly reached the original level and even surpassed it slightly. Tian Xuedong replaced Wu Xingyun's original fate and began the emotional entanglement between the 4 people. After Zuanjizi's relationship with Wu Xingyun stabilized, she proposed marriage to Zayayozi. After she popularized some knowledge, she decided to wait until Zuanjizi turned 20 to get married and get engaged now. Senior sister, Shu Yi has something to say. This time, senior sister, Shu Yi made a prediction. Something happened during the retreat, and retreat is not allowed within the Xiaorao sect. When the junior sister was learning about planting, she made a place in Tianshan with the consent of her master. This place is also a wedding gift for senior sister. Can you let Zuanjizi and senior sister go and retreat now? Shui has done a lot of formations. He quietly put the note into Wu Xingyun's hand. Wu Xingyun knew that his junior sister had always cared about him, so he nodded with a gentle smile. To say that the Xiaorao sect is really good to me, I am afraid that the only one who teaches piano, chess, calligraphy, and painting is this junior sister, Lanshan Jizu Thiobiba, Yidabi Balao. Wu Xingyun, who returned to his room, opened the note, read the contents on it, and remained silent. After a while, it was shattered with internal force. Going to Zuanjizi's training place, Wu Xingyun saw his junior sister and master teaching an I Ching, the master's new disciple. Xuanji, junior sister, said that she gave us a manner and wanted us to have a look. I heard from junior sister that the aura of heaven and earth there is very strong. I want to go there for this retreat to see what it's like, and also to retreat there. Junior sister has also prepared a lot of formation books for you. Wu Xingyun whispered beside Zuanjizi. observing Li Qiushui and Li Songhai from time to time. This behavior caught Xian Jizi's attention and reminded her of what she just said. Okay, Senior Sister Shui is highly qualified in formations. I'm afraid there are formations outside the manor this time. If Xingyun has been in confinement, I can also study them carefully. After the discussion, the two people discussed the situation with Zaya Yozi later. Zaya Yozi understood that the eldest disciple's decision this time must be related to the divination he saw Shi a few nights ago, and he nodded in agreement. At night, Shi took Miqing to find Zaya Yozi. Master, it's time for Junior Sister to learn trade farming. My disciple wants to take Junior Sister down the mountain and walk around. If Master is willing to come with us, we are taking in Fizi with us. He has had some problems with his astrology recently. Walking around more can also be beneficial. He looked at Zaya Yozi eagerly, waiting for his answer. Okay, I will go down the mountain with you as a master, but you must explain why you are doing this when the time comes. Zaya Yozi looked at the disciple in a funny way. Okay, the disciple said on the way, I just hope that the master will not blame the disciple for being reckless. Shui's purpose this time is not only to let Wu Xingyin avoid this disaster, but also she needs seeds. Her space has been developed with a lot of land that can be added, and it cannot always be empty. She wants to get more seeds of medicinal materials. The ones saved over the years have been used up, and the space cannot be wasted. Zaya Yozi took his apprentice down the mountain and ordered Wiyazi, Taiyang Swatong, and the Li sisters to guard him. After coming down from the mountain, they first went to Zhuangzi prepared by Shi for Wu Xingyun. Along the way, everyone also learned a lot from Zaya Yozi. When they arrived at Piaomiao Peak of Tianshan Mountain and Salingjie Palace, Zaya Yozi also looked at Shi in surprise. He didn't expect that this apprentice could be so rich in just a few years. He nodded with relief. When they were approaching the outer perimeter, Shi walked to the front and said, Master, this formation evolved from the ancient formation. I hope you can give me more advice. Shi walked in front. Zaya Yozi quickly ordered the other disciples to follow Shi. Don't make a mistake, this formation is probably capable of attacking. Wu Xingyun was extremely happy in his heart. His junior sister had probably put a lot of effort into seclusion for him. Zuanjizi was also attracted by this formation, holding Wu Xingyun's hand and tightening her grip on Shi. Helplessly looking at the sweetness of the senior brothers and sisters, Yun Fizi followed closely with Enai Qing. He was most afraid of the battle method. The senior sisters and brothers above were each more evil than the last. This time, only a few people who usually have a good relationship with Wu Yazi were left, fearing that something might happen. Shui spent a lot of money to buy Piaomiao Peak this time. When I read this book before, my favorite was Piaomiao Peak. Taiyang Swatong did not deserve this blessed place. After buying Piaomiao Peak, Shui followed many original works when building it, but also used many modern elements, mainly focusing on comfort. First, he took Zaya Yozi to the specially built pavilion. Master, this place was specially built for you. It will be good for you and senior sister to come here for retreat or vacation in the future. Disciple has set up formations to attract the spiritual energy of heaven and earth in several residences nearby. I hope Master likes it. Exquisite! Shui's qualifications in this area are unmatched by any teacher. A master is better than a master. Good, good, good. Zaya Yozi looked at it happily, feeling satisfied in his heart. Zuanjizi and Wu Xingyin looked at each other and smiled. Junior sister / senior sister could even think of this aspect. They were so versatile. Zaya Yozi planned to retreat here. Shui tilted her head and said helplessly, Master, don't worry. There is a farm at the foot of the mountain, and it is also for senior sister. In order to protect the income here, I will take the junior sister down to learn trade farming, and the junior brother will also stay here. By the way, you can take these jade pendants and put a drop of blood on the jade pendants so that you can enter freely in the future. Knowing that Shui's arrangement might have some ulterior motives, no one said anything. After settling down, everyone went to work. Qinger, let's stay here for one night. Tomorrow, the second senior sister will take you to learn something fun. He stroked Enai Qing's head and looked at the 4-year-old child with pity in his heart. He lost his family at such a young age. Okay, senior sister, let's go to bed early. Her milky voice made Enai Qing even more adorable. The next day, Shi, who brought Niqing down the mountain, activated all the formations. Don't be afraid of 10,000, just be afraid of the eventuality. She didn't want anything to happen to Wu Xingyun. For half a month, during the day, I calculated the accounts and taught the junior sister what she needs to learn now. As soon as evening comes, the required medicinal materials are planted in the space. The amount of seeds collected this time is very large, including ornamental flowers and trees, edible fruit trees, and various types of food. After raising a lot of silkworm babies and breeding them in a specific place, Shui clearly felt that the space needed to be upgraded. Shui expressed happiness about this. Chapter 4. After receiving the Millennium Blood Ganoderma, I made some powder and sprinkled it under the tree. The space has indeed been upgraded, and trading channels have been opened. As a newcomer, I can only take every step seriously. But it's also good. I can buy a lot of robots, so I don't have to work hard to farm. Damn, why is the trading system only now available? Complaints are complaints, but she did not fall behind in what she needed to learn in the hut. She demanded that she want eternal life. She did not want to be bullied or sacrificed because she had no strength. It felt almost the same. Because the retreat was successful, the senior sister took the younger junior sister back to the Vulture Palace. I saw senior sister and master drinking tea nearby, junior brother Zuanjizi reading a book nearby, and junior brother practicing boxing. He hurriedly brought the fruit that he had taken out from the space at the manor to the table. Master, senior sisters and brothers, please try it. It comes from Shanxia Zhuangzi. The juicy pears make people fall in love just looking at them. Zaya Yozi picked up one and bit it down. A mouthful of rich and fragrant pulp juice melted into his mouth. Zaya Yozi was satisfied. It was good to have an apprentice. He thought of himself for everything, but this fruit was probably not from Zhuangzi, but it didn't matter if the apprentice had any secrets. After all, Zaya Yozi has lived a long time, and now under the guidance of his second disciple Ryo Shiwu, he knows how to enter Taoism through martial arts. He understands Xu Yi's hesitation, but he understands the reason why holding a bai is a crime, so sometimes he will give her advice on what to do, tacitly. Not long after eating the pears, my stomach started to feel uncomfortable. Go quickly, this fruit is not a pear, it is a good thing. Looking at them with a snicker, Shui took the opportunity to slip away. This fruit was pickled with marrow-cleansing pills. The master ate 5 of them, fearing that the effect would be the most obvious. The 2 senior sisters were a little less, but the senior sister was young now. The others were 3 junior brothers and 1 junior sister. After taking the junior sister back to the residence quickly, he also prepared bath water and freshened himself up. Appeared again at night. The master was young. He used to have gray hair, but now he looks like he is in his 30s. Even her skills have improved, and Shui expressed her satisfaction. Zaya Yozi told other disciples that he had achieved a breakthrough in his innate nature, and that was why he had regained his youth. He gave Master Shui the training method of a fallen sect collected in the space. Let the master be the inheritance of the Xiaorao sect. This immortal cultivation technique is called Xiaoyao Ju. From now on, he will teach it to the senior sisters and the others bit by bit. At the same time, he gave him a 300 cubic space ring as a bribe to cover up for himself. During the rummaging process, I found another space that could not be upgraded, but could house living things. It had a stream and fields, which could just cover the crystal Pichio bracelet in Shui's space. However, to ensure safety, she still used an ordinary storage space ring as a cover. After all, it is essential to be on guard against others, and she also has to plan for herself and keep more trump cards. I gave the Xiaorao subspace ring so that I could say that I had found the immortal mansion and got some good things. I also handed it over to the master so that I could say that I had something. It is better to do less than to do more. It can give yourself more security, so why not do it? Besides, Zaya Yozi is also a good master. He is too lonely on the road. Having a master also leaves a way out for himself. After living in Lingjia Palace for a while, everyone returned to the Xiaorao sect. However, a lot of things happened at this time. Li Qiushui destroyed Tian Xuedong's seclusion, and Tian Xuedong, a master of the eternal life Changqin Gong, suffered severe injuries to his meridians and became possessed. Wu Yazi and Li Qiushui eloped away, and Li Sanghai was depressed and asked Zaya Yozi to go down the mountain to look for Yilinglang. After Zaya Yozi saw this situation, he nodded in agreement, and Wu Yazi and Li Qiushui were removed from the list. After Tang Suitong was partially treated for his injuries, he also asked to go down the mountain. Zaya Yozi looked at this disciple with a sigh and waved her to go down the mountain. After Zaya Yozi left the next day, he returned to Xiaorao sect half a month later and told him that he had abolished Wu Yazi and Li Qiushui's kung fu, and at the same time erased all their memories of Xiaoyao sect. Wu Xingyun and Zuanjizi understood this, but Shui was still fiddling with the astrolabe over there. Zaya Yozi and others looked at it curiously and were fascinated. Is that so? It seems that I don't have much time to stay here. It seems that I have to run a good business and take care of some of the stores and farms I have. He muttered to himself, and the people around him listened attentively. When Shui turned around, she was startled by a group of people, but after thinking about it, this was just right. So, after explaining it to Zayayozi, he began to carve formations near Xiaorao sect and also asked many people to start building new mansions. Since Yunfizi took over Xu Yi's finances, he was immediately trapped and unable to get out. The involvement was too extensive, and there were huge profits in every area. All his subordinates were given life and death talismans. Now we need to sort out and clarify the time of administration. Wu Xingyun and Zuanjizi did not escape either. Wu Xingyun was sent down the mountain to find suitable disciples. At the same time, Zuanjizi was captured by Shi as a coolie. Under the daily teaching and characterization, the formation made rapid progress. Zayayozi is also very busy. The second apprentice's stall is so big that I don't know how the girl got here. There are shops, medical clinics, etc. all over the place. Yunfizi takes over the accounting books, and he is confirming the physical part of the shops and other places. By the way, I taught the young apprentice an I Ching. After working hard for more than half a year, I was shocked to say that the two apprentices had received so well. The Xiaorao sect was not short of money this time, but it became a worry about having too much money. Wu Xingyun went down the mountain for half a year and found 30 apprentices with good qualifications and good character. After Yunfizi finished handling the daily accounts, she helped her senior sister and apprentice. After Wu Xingyun dealt with his apprentices every day, he went to help Shi and the others. In order to avoid suspicion in the past 6 months, Shi only gave Zuanjizi pointers on things he didn't understand. After Zuanjizi left, she went to check. Wu Xingyun's behavior towards Shuyi showed that she was really not that jealous, and that this was a serious matter. Within a year, Shuyi finally completed the task of rebuilding the Xiaorao sect. At this time, the Xiaorao sect and Lingjiu Palace were floating in the air. There were sects in the sky and on the ground. Tian Xuedong and Li Songhai originally wanted to return to the Xiaorao sect, but in the end, Zayayozi only arranged for them to become outer disciples. Li Songhai found nothing while searching for Yulinglong, so he could only return to Xiaorao sect. After Shi finished the painting, she went into seclusion to attack Xiantian. After half a month, she successfully came out of seclusion. Wu Xingyun, Zuanjizi, etc. all successfully passed the test one after another. Even Yunfizi, who is usually the laziest, successfully reached Xiantian through hard training. Because Ni Qin was too young, Xiaoyao Zipping did not let her get ahead of herself. When Shui and Wu Xingyun were teaching their disciples, they knew that Li Songhai was looking for Yulinglong, so she dragged Wu Xingyun to Zayayozi, took out Yulinglong, and said, "This thing is not actually a Dragon Ball. There is no Dragon Ball in this world. This thing can be made by anyone with innate talent, but it must be at a late innate level." After careful instruction, both of them nodded. Disciples with poor qualifications but capable ones can do a few things for them so that they can be handled better. Today's Xiaorao sect is completely different from the original one. The inner disciples are all innate, and the outer disciples have monthly assessments. Those who fail will be directly sent to Zhuangzi down the mountain to contribute to the sect. Those who succeed in the assessment can participate in the elite assessment. Those who break through to innate are the inner disciples. Those who have reached the late stage of Bigu can practice the Xiaoyao Ju, and the Xiaorao sect will be full of vitality. But at this time, Shuyi could clearly feel the suction coming from space and time. After teaching her apprentice carefully, Shuyi came to Zayayozi and told him the situation. Zayayozi nodded, and Shuyi gave Zayayozi a spiritual stone with the power of the soul. "Master, this spiritual stone contains the power of my disciple's soul. If I have the ability to come back, my disciple can follow this spiritual stone to find you." Shuyi looked at Zayayozi with tears in her eyes and said, "Don't worry, Master. It will be kept properly. You must pay attention to safety. It is Master's luck that he can receive you in his life. However, people outside are sinister, so don't show off and pay more attention to it. You are a bit confused, so you need to be careful." Zayayozi touched Shuyi's head, but did not say anything clearly. But Shuyi understood that Zayayozi was talking about space. "Shu-yi, you are too kind-hearted, not decisive enough in killing, and your heart is too easy to soften. This will be your fatal flaw. After you leave, remember, everything is suspicious. You must be decisive, and you must eradicate the roots. This is all I can say as a teacher. You go." Nodding, feeling the suction becoming stronger, Shuyi ran outside the house. At this moment, a full moon hung high in the sky. Wu Xingyun and others felt something, and came outside Zayayozi's courtyard. They saw Shuyi half floating in the sky, rising upwards, and watched silently. Many disciples who were awake also saw the second elder turning into golden light and disappearing into the sky after floating into the air. The great elder and master were saying goodbye. This has also inspired many people to practice seriously and dream of ascending as soon as possible. Therefore, it is better not to explain some misunderstandings. Chapter 5. In a daze, Shui heard someone talking. After listening for a while, she understood that this was the legend of 2 dragons of the Tang dynasty and fell asleep again in a daze. Shui woke up again and was surprised to find the elder when Kading staying by her side. After all, Shui was not as favored as Huan, not to mention that Shui did not appear much on TV, and she knew nothing about Shui's future. She just wanted to complete the task. He struggled to get up, but he didn't expect to alarm Elder One. Shu Yi, you finally woke up. Are you still feeling uncomfortable? Elder One asked with concern. Anting, Shui is fine. Please go back and rest. Looking at the slightly haggard Wen Kading, Shui said with difficulty. Listening to such a hoarse and dry voice, Wen Kading poured water for Shui. After she finished drinking, she said, You kid, you are tired and sick from studying. You must not do this again in the future. Do you understand? Anting, can you tell me about Sihong Jingjai's concubine Xian? Shui lowered her eyes and asked quietly, Why do you suddenly ask about this? When Kading looked at Shui in surprise, This illness has brought back my memories from before I was 5 years old. Shi Feishuan's parents killed my whole family. It happened because Shi Feishuan was a disciple of an important figure in Sihong Jingjai. My mother sacrificed a lot in order for me to escape. Shui said in a low and hoarse voice with a cold tone, but the murderous intention in her tone was real. Silly boy, the people in Sihong Jingjai are not that simple. If you want to touch them, you must be careful and careful. He looked at Shui with pity and stroked her little face that was thin due to illness. What if I can change the master's physique? The master is not a pure Yin body, so he cannot cultivate to the 18th level. If I can change the master's physique, is there still a chance? Shui's shining eyes made Wen Kading look at the lying child in surprise. I can definitely do this method. My mother taught me a lot of things, but I didn't know it because I couldn't remember the past. Now I remember. Then, I can definitely do it. Shui's firm eyes made Wen Kading sigh for a long time. Good boy, you go to sleep first. Ask your master when you wake up tomorrow. After putting Shui to sleep, he asked someone to come and watch over her. Finding that Zhu Yuyan was still working on the formula, she asked someone to pass it on. Yin, why don't you rest at this late hour? Shui, you just woke up. Let's rest soon. Is Shui okay? There is nothing serious about her health. It's just that she remembered a memory from before she was 5 years old and asked me about Sihong Jingjai's concubine Xian. Then she told Zhu Yuyan about the matter in detail. Is this true? Let's talk about it after Shui wakes up tomorrow. I'm afraid things are not that simple. You said that Shui wants Shi Feishuan's life, so there must be something threatening or something that makes Sihong Jingjai afraid of Shui's family, so that Shi's family will come forward to solve it. Zhu Yuyan said after thinking for a moment. That's fine. After asking tomorrow, I'll be sure to deal with Sihong Jingjai this way. After dawn, Shui knew that there were many loopholes in her words, but she also understood that they would believe it only after giving certain items. In this way, she can complete the task better and change future history to some extent. Master, these were copied from memory after the disciples got up. There are also many prescriptions. There is not enough time, so they only wrote down the skills they wanted to snatch. He gave away the life and death talisman and Tianshan Luyang Palm from Xiaoyao sect. The secret of immortality is not true immortality. Without the right physique and character, you cannot practice the fragments that are circulated outside. Fu Junma, who owns the fragments, may not know it. This method is just a technique left by the former cultivators for the innates to get started, but unfortunately it is still incomplete. I just don't know whether what Lu Miaozi has in his hands is true or false. Shui knew that in order for Zhu Yuyan and others to believe in herself better, they must make a choice, and the secret of immortality is the best choice.